What's happening there, guys, and welcome back to our channel. Who would have thought a mockumentary about workers at a Pennsylvania paper company would be so famous? Well, that's precisely what happened in 2015 when Michael Scott and his Dunder Mifflin team were made available to the public. For many years, Jim, Pam, Dwight, and the rest of the Office's cast were able to delight viewers. And if you're also curious to find out where all the Dunder Mifflin employees are today, then check out the Office 2005 cast then and now 2022. Number 8. Steve Carell starred as Michael Scott. Michael Scott had finally gotten his hands on everything. He married the love of his life, Holly, Amy Ryan. They had children, and he had so many photos of them that he had to use a second phone to save them all. He made Dwight's wedding all he had hoped for by arriving just in time to take over as best man. Carell has progressed significantly since his days as Sapphire Steve Carell on a school radio station. He initially gained attention on the short-lived Dana Carvey show. Still, it was his 5 years on The Daily Show with Jon Stewart that truly placed him in the limelight, eventually resulting in his lead position on The Office, where his pay was doubled by season 3 and his stardom was assured. Following that came a succession of blockbuster films, with the comedian reprising his role as the wicked Gru from the 2010 cartoon film Despicable Me in subsequent sequels. Number 7. John Krasinski starred as Jim Halpert. Even if I didn't love every minute of it, everything I have I owe to this job. This stupid, wonderful, boring, amazing job. That is precisely how Jim sums up his time at Dunder Mifflin as he plans and prepares to relocate to Austin with Pam and their children. John Krasinski polished his acting skills at the Royal Shakespeare Company in Stratford-upon-Avon, yet he worked as a waiter to make ends meet until he landed his job on The Office. He also worked as a writer-intern on Conan O'Brien's Late Night Show. His career has soared from that point forward. He's co-featured with George Clooney, co-authored with Matt Damon, and composed and coordinated brief interviews with hideous men while The Office was yet underway, based on a short story by David Foster Wallace. Along with starring opposite Sylvester Stallone, Ian McKellen, and Danny DeVito in Cameron Crowe's Aloha and dubbing a character in the animated film Animal Crackers, Krasinski resumed his work behind the camera as the filmmakers of The Haulers and the smash horror film A Quiet Place. He also started appearing in the Amazon series Jack Ryan. In 2020, he launched the online series Some Good News, which attracted numerous Office co-stars to witness him officiate a wedding in one episode. Number 6. Jenna Fischer starred as Pam Beasley. The way Pam wrapped her life in Scranton was quite definite. She was married to Jim and had 2 children when she made the great gesture of selling their house without informing him, much as he did when he first inquired it without telling her. It's the ideal fit. Fisher co-starred in Blades of Glory, Hall Pass, and The Giant Mechanical Man between those takes for The Office, both of which have been written and directed by her spouse Lee Kirk, with whom she has 2 kids with. She landed a role in the series You, Me, and the Apocalypse and the film Splitting Up Together, and wrote the memoir The Actor's Life, a survival guide which chronicled her Hollywood experience. Notwithstanding the two had a tense on-screen relationship, Fisher and Angela Kinsey are great friends, and Fisher is Kinsey's godmother. In 2019, the besties teamed together to establish the Office Ladies podcast, in which they rewatch every episode of their triumphant show and provide commentary on each of them. Number 5. Mindy Kaling starred as Kelly Kapoor. Kelly eventually got what she wished for all along, and that was Ryan. Kaling has appeared in numerous movies such as This Is the End, A Wrinkle in Time, Ocean's 8, and Late Night, dubbed characters in Wreck-It Ralph and Inside Out, in addition to her popularity with the Mindy Project. She also proceeded with her work for television, co-making the shows Champions, 4 Weddings and a Funeral, and Never Have I Ever, alongside a much-discussed nationwide ad with Matt Damon in which he walked through a real car wash. Number 4. Rainn Wilson starred as Dwight Schrute. Dwight married girlfriend Angela, retained his farm, and ultimately realized his goal to become the regional manager of Dunder Mifflin's Scranton office. He terminated both Jim and Pam in an atypical gesture of kindness to collect compensation when they relocated to Austin to start their new journeys. Rainn Wilson has been the only character on the show who has appeared in every episode of The Office. He was initially cast as Michael Scott, but was instead cast as Dwight, knocking out Seth Rogen for the position. Wilson's first post-office project was just to be a spin-off centered on Dwight's lifestyle on Truth Farm, but it didn't seem to work out, which allowed him to attempt something different. Before gaining a regular part on the successful sitcom Moms, he was featured in the criminal comedy drama Backstrom. He acted in independent films like Uncanny and The Boy. Wilson also continued to produce content for Soul Pancake, the website and YouTube channel he co-founded while The Office was still on the air, and penned a memoir, The Bassoon King, My Life in Art, Faith, and Idiocy. Number 3. Paul Lieberstein starred as Toby Flenderson. Toby Flenderson ultimately decided to give up on Scranton and relocated to New York City to pursue his dream of being a misfit writer. Paul Lieberstein was never planned to be a part of the cast. He was just a writer who only got one line in the show's pilot. However, when the then NBC Entertainment president saw him in the dailies, he showed an interest in seeing more of him. By season 5, Lieberstein had taken over as showrunner and preferred his behind-the-scenes work to his on-screen work. Lieberstein also directed numerous episodes of the Mindy Project and took over as showrunner for Ghosted, which co-starred Craig Robinson midway through its one-season run. After that, Lieberstein showed off his complete creative spectrum as the writer, director, and star of the comedy Song of Back and Neck, premiered at the 2018 Tribeca Film Festival. Number 2. Ellie Kemper starred as ERIN Hannon. In the last episode of The Office, ERIN meets her actual parents. They expressed regret for her abandoning her and admitted that it was the worst mistake that they had ever made in their life. Ellie Kemper has been busy ever since. She was the very first guest host of The Ellen Show, got starred in Bridesmaids, and now stars in the hit Netflix comedy The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. She also starred with Louis C.K., Albert Brooks, and Kevin Hart in The Secret Life of Pets, and wrote an autobiographical series of essays, and found her time for becoming a wife and mother. Number 1. Angela Kinsey starred as Angela Martin. After one failed marriage to a homosexual congressman and a brief engagement to Andy Bernard, Angela ultimately marries Dwight, her one true love, in the final season of the show. Angela Kinsey was set to star in the part of Pam Beesly, but she was deemed too feisty, so she was asked back to audition for Angela. Angela, in real life, is a huge cat lover. Not only that, but she's also a writer and comedy actor who won an Emmy for the web series The Office: The Accountant alongside a few of her Office co-stars. Kinsey seems to have been in several television shows, including The Hot Wives of Orlando, Your Family or Mine, or Haters Back Off. She's also stayed in touch with a few of her past co-stars. Kinsey was a frequent celebrity guest on Impress Me, which began on Rainn Wilson's Soul Pancake YouTube channel and eventually became a recurrent character on KALING's Never Have I Ever, in addition to her Office Ladies podcast with Fischer. Almost all the actors are doing great these days, and it seems like the cast of The Office are still very close, with a few of the actors showing up on one another's projects, posting pictures together on social media, and getting to know each other off screen. So do let us know some of your favorite moments on The Office in the comments down below, and we'll catch you guys later in another awesome video. Bye now!